Welcome. Poem 7 The Stolen Boat, Question Answer, Part 2, 10th Standard. English First Language, Part 2. It is as per 2024-2025 Karnataka State Board syllabus. First is the glossary, first main. Willow tree means a tree that grows near water with thin, flexible branches. Unloosed, make it loose. Undo something. Unswavering, steady, constant, straight. Summit means top of the mountain. Crag out means a high, rough mass of rock which sticks from land around it. Treasurage means sea barrow crag in England. Elephant penis means small fairy-like boat. Lustily means passionately with a great happiness. Oars means long poles with the flat ends which are used for rowing a boat. Heaving means rising up. Horizon means skyline. Huge peak means a black crag. Instinct means filled with. Rear means rise up. Toward means rose up like a tower. Still means continuously. Stature means height. Grim means frightful, fierce. Strode means walked with a long steps. Covert means hidden place. Mooring place means a place of shelter where the boat is usually tethered for safety. Bark means boat. Meadow means grassland. Spectacle means sight. Solitude means loneliness. Blank desertion means devoid of thought. Second main comprehension questions. A. Answer briefly the following questions. 1. Who does her in the first line refer to? In the opening line of the stolen boat, the pronoun her refers to the boat itself. Wordsworth personifies the boat, a common technique in a romantic poetry to give it a sense of life and connection to nature. This personification reflects the deep bond and respect Wordsworth feels for the natural world, treating even inanimate objects with a sense of reverence and wonder. Second, where was the boat moored? In Stolen Boat, the boat was moored beside the willow tree. Third one, what does the home in line 3 refers to? In line 3 of the Stolen Boat, home refers to the natural habitat or resting place of the boat by the side of the willow tree. Fourth one, what does her in the line 4 refers to? In line 4 of the Stolen Boat, her once again refers to the boat. Wordsworth continues the personification of the boat, imbuing it with life and character as if it were the champion on the narrator's journey. This technique enhances the emotional and symbolic connection between the speaker, the boat, and the surrounding natural world. Fifth one, why does the poet use the words like home and her while talking about the inanimate boat? The poet uses for like home and her to personify the inanimate boat, imbuing it with a sense of life, character, and familiarity. This personification reflects the deep connection Wordsworth, as a romantic poet, feels with nature. By describing the boat in these terms, the poet elevates it from a mere object to a companion in the story, enhancing its emotional significance. This technique also mirrors the romantic emphasis on finding meaning and spirit in all elements of nature, making even the smallest details feel alive and interconnected. It draws the reader into the scene with a sense of intimacy and reverence. Question number 6. What stealthy act does the boy commit? In the stolen boat, the boy commits the stealthy act of taking the boat without permission. He unties it from its mooring by the willow tree and rows away into the lake. This action is carried out in silence and secrecy, heightening the sense of adventure and mischief. However, the experience soon transformed into one of awe and moral awakening as the grandeur of nature overwhelms him. Seventh, what sound is captured in line 6 and 7? In line 6 and 7 of the stolen boat, the sound captured is the gentle mountain echoes. This auditory detail highlights the tranquility of the setting and The boy's stealthy actions, emphasizing the stillness and secrecy of the scene. The quiet sound contrasts with the overwhelming feelings of awe and guilt that follow later in the poem. Eighth, what visual picture is created in lines 8 to 10? In lines 8 to 10, Wordsworth creates a serene and vivid visual image of the boat's movement across the water. As the boy rows, the dipping oars leave behind small, glittering circles in the moonlight, which gradually merge into a single track or a path on the lake's surface. This imagery emphasizes the calmness of the scene and the harmony between the boat and its natural surroundings. The shimmering moonlight and gentle ripples evoke a sense of peace and beauty, drawing the reader into the tranquil atmosphere before the tones shift later in the poem. Ninth, what does they in the line 10 refers to? In the line 10 of the stolen boat, they refers to the small circles created by the movement of the boat's oars in the water. These circles are described as glittering idly in the moonlight and then merging into single track on the surface of the lake, adding to the serene and picturesque imagery of the scene. 10. How many peaks are mentioned in the poem? Which one is bigger? In the stolen boat, two peaks are mentioned. Initially, the boy notices a smaller peak, which seems less imposing. However, as the boat moves further into the lake, a larger and a more majestic peak comes into view. This bigger peak looms over the sea, creating a scene of awe and even fear in the boy, symbolizing the power and grandeur of nature. It marks the turning point in the poem, shifting from the innocence and tranquility to the deeper reflection and moral awakening. 11. A. What is the boat compared to in line 11 and 20? In the lines 11 and 20 of the stolen boat, the boat is compared to a swan. This metaphor emphasizes its elegance and the smooth movement in the tranquil water. B. The purpose of the comparison is 1. To highlight the beauty and grace of swan. Now, second one, to highlight the beauty and grace of the boat. Third one, to highlight the graceful movement of the boat. Answer is third one. The purpose of the comparison is third one, to highlight the graceful movement of the boat. This imagery aligns the romantic emphasis on the harmony between the human actions and the natural world. 12th, in the expression troubled pleasure, line 6, A. What pleasurable experience of the narrator does pleasure refer to? A. The pleasure in the expression troubled pleasure refers to the narrator's excitement and thrill at rowing the stolen boat. It captures the sense of adventure and the enjoyment of being surrounded by the beauty of nature. B. The narrator's pleasure is troubled because 1. His conscience pricks him on his stealthy act. 2. The pleasure is short lived. Third, he is scared of his stealthy act being found out. The narrator's pleasure is troubled because 1. His conscience pricks him on his stealthy act. The narrator feels a sense of guilt for taking the boat without permission, which tempers his enjoyment. His blend of emotions, pleasure mingled with the guilt, adds depth to experience and reflects the romantic focus on complex human feelings. Read carefully the lines 21 to 26. A. Draw a picture of black and huge peak. 13th question it is. Do the drawing of it. B. Pick out the details of the peak that appears fearful to the boy. B. The details that make the peak appear fearful to the boy include its black and huge appearance, the way it seems to rear its head as if with a voluntary power instinct, suggesting it is alive and intentional. Its growing stature, as if it towers higher and higher, becoming an overpowering force between the boy and the heavens. C. The lines refer to the movement of the peak. Is it real or imagined by the boy? C. The movement of the peak in these lines is imagined by the boy. His heightened emotions and the vivid imagination make the peak seem alive and menacing, even though it remains stationary in reality. D. In the boy's imagination, the moment is 1. Threatening and menacing, 2. Lively and graceful, 3. Friendly and inviting. In the boy's imagination, the moment of the peak is option 1, threatening and menacing. The moment reflects the romantic theme of the sublime, the nature's capacity to inspire both awe and terror, leaving a profound impact on the observer. 14a. In the phrase trembling oars, who is trembling? In the phrase trembling oars, it is actually the boy who is trembling. The trembling of the oars reflects his emotions as his fear and awe are transferred symbolically to the oars. B. Name the figure of the speech in this expression. The figure of speech used here is personification, as the oars are described as trembling, the human action. Convey the boy's emotional state. See, the boy is trembling because option 1, he is frightened by the approaching peak, 2, of his guilty conscience, 3rd, of cold. The boy is trembling because of option 1, he is frightened by approaching peak. This moment showcases the sublime mixed of fear and awe at the overwhelming power of nature. 15. The episode of the stolen boat ends with the boy leaving the boat back in its mooring place. Line 32. The remaining lines of the poem, lines 33 to 44, deal with the last memory of the actual experience. Option B, details not connected with the actual experience. C, mysterious shapes and images haunting him. The remaining lines of the poem, lines 33 to 44, primarily deal with option answer is option C, the mysterious shapes and the images haunting him. The story ends at the line 32 when he returns back and tie back the boat at the cave. But after that, 33 to 44 lines are about the mysterious shapes and the images haunting him. These lines describe how Boy is deeply affected by his experience with the stolen boat. The grandeur and overwhelming power of the nature leave a lasting impression on his mind. The huge and mighty forms represent the haunting, mysterious forces of nature that dominate his thoughts and dreams, symbolizing the boy's awe, guilt, and profound realization about his place in the natural world. 16. Wordsworth defined poetry as emotion recollected in tranquility. What dominant emotion of both experience is recollected by the poet? The dominant emotion recollected by the Wordsworth from the boat experience is profound sense of awe intertwined with a fear and moral reflection. Through his memory, the poet reflects on the overwhelming power and grandeur of nature, which left the lasting impact on his young mind. The experience evokes a mixture of admiration for the nature's majesty, a sense of guilt from his stealthy act, and a deep realization of the human insignificance in the face of vast natural forces. This recollected emotion becomes a pivotal moment in his journey of personal and spiritual growth. 17. Many days after the stolen boat experience, the narrator was haunted by a mysterious presence within him. Pick out details of this mysterious presence from line 37 to 44. From the lines 37 to 44 of the stolen boat, the mysterious presence haunting the narrator can be described as vast, undefined, and deeply unsettling. Key details include darkness hanging over his thoughts. This symbolizes a sense of solitude and emotional disturbance, absence of familiar and pleasant images. The beauty of trees, green fields, and other natural elements is replaced by something ominous, huge and mighty forms moving through his mind. These forms are not like living beings, but are haunting, powerful, and otherworldly. The effect on his dreams. These shapes trouble him not only during the day, but also infiltrate his dreams, leaving him restless. This haunting presence reflects the narrator's heightened awareness of the nature's power and the sublime, a romantic theme emphasizing a fear and the sense of one's significance in the face of nature. B. The close study. Read the following extracts carefully, discuss in pairs, and then write the answer to the questions given below them. 1. She was an elfin penis. A. What does she refer to? She refers to the boat that narrator had taken without permission. B. What is the figure of speech used here? The figure of speech used here is personification, as the boat is referred to as she, giving it a human like quality. See, what does the elfin mean? Elfin means small, delicate, and fairy like, evoking an image of grace and lightness. Sorry. D. What is the figure of speech used in elfin penis? He sorry, the figure of speech in elfin penis is metaphor, as the boat is compared to a tiny, graceful ship belonging to elves. Here, T should be there. E. What quality in the moment of boat is highlighted in comparison? The comparison highlights the boat's graceful, light, and almost magical movement, enhancing the dreamlike and serene atmosphere of the scene. 2. With trembling oars I turned, and through the silent water stole my way back to the covert of the willow tree. A. What is the figure of speech used in the first line? The figure of speech is with the trembling oars I turned is personification, as oars are described as trembling, reflecting the boy's emotions. B. What made the boy tremble? The boy trembled because of the awe and fear he felt in presence of the towering and menacing peak, as well as the sense of guilt from his stealthy act of taking the boat. See, what does the boy want to do with the boat? The boy wants to return the boat to its original mooring place by the willow tree and retreat quietly, driven by a sense of guilt and newfound respect for the overwhelming power of nature. Third, paragraph writing. Discuss in groups of four each the answers to the following questions. Note down the important points for each question and then develop the points into one paragraph answers. 1. Why did the Wordsworth say that his moving the boat is an act of stealth? Why was he guilty of his act? Wordsworth refers to his act of taking the boat as an act of stealth because he took it quietly and secretly, without permission. The sneaky and boy's sneaky and silent manner reflects both his sense of mischief and the thrill of doing something forbidden. However, the seemingly innocent act soon leads to feeling of guilt. The guilt arises from his realization that he disrupted the natural harmony and acted without integrity. As the boy rose into the lake, the towering mountain triggers a moral awakening in him, filling him with awe, fear, and a sense of smallness in the face of nature's grandeur. This emotional response transforms his initial excitement into a deeper, more introspective reflection on his actions, highlighting Wordsworth's themes of human morality and the profound impact of the nature. To describe the effect that the spectacle of the peak had on the poet's mind. The spectacle of the towering peak had a profound and lasting effect on the poet's mind. As the boy gazed upon the huge, mighty forms, the peak seemed alive, rearing its head as if with intention, and filled him with awe and fear. This overwhelming presence disrupted his initial pleasure, replacing it with a sense of smallness and vulnerability. For days before the experience, the poet was haunted by mysterious and shadowy images that hung over his thoughts like darkness. The grandeur of the peak evoked a dim and undetermined sense of unknown modes of being, leading him into a state of introspection. Familiar and pleasant memories of nature were replaced by troubling visions, reflecting his deeper understanding of nature's immense power and his own insignificance in the face of it. This transformative experience marked a significant step in his journey of emotional and moral growth. See, to Wordsworth, nature was a living presence. Pick out any five details from poem to support this. Wordsworth's portrayal of nature as a living presence is vividly evident throughout the Stolen Bout. Here are five details from the poem that support this idea. 1. Personification of the boat. She was an elfin pinnace. The boat is described as elfin pinnace, giving it lifelike qualities and connecting it to the magical and mysterious world of nature. Elfin means delicate, pinnace means small boat, narrow boat it is. Two is the peak's voluntary power. The mountain is depicted as if it has a will of its own, rearing up with voluntary power instinct, symbolizing an almost sentient force of nature. Third one, the huge and mighty forms haunting the boy. These mysterious forms represent the nature's ability to impact the human mind as if it possesses a spiritual and otherworldly presence. Third, darkness, solitude, or blank desertion. The nature's grandeur leaves a deep and lingering effect on the boy, suggesting it has the power to evoke complex emotions and act as a guide for introspection. Oh, the boat's movement compared to a swan. The metaphor of the boat gliding like a swan highlights the grace and beauty of nature, reinforcing the idea that it is vibrant and alive. These details showcase Wordsworth's belief in nature not merely as a backdrop but as a dynamic and active force that shapes human thought and emotion. Please like, share, subscribe, comment, and save the playlist. Thank you very much.